Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 9 of the build for the Mercedes SSK 1929 kit car, replica, whatever you want to call it. And today's project, I'm going to go through the last box of parts that I have for the vehicle. And in a bit, I'll take you a walk around, show you the fenders mounted and headlights and everything. But anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and help support the channel. Going for 2,000 subscribers now, but let's get to it. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the bounty here without all the mouse turds in it. But these look like the little brackets for the convertible top bows. You got the inside handles, the outside handles, plenty of hinges ready to go. Have no idea what these are for. I have the brackets that are going to mount into the body to hold the windshield. I do have some windshield gasket here, sticky stuff. And it looks like it's still pliable. Still dig my fingernail into it, so I'm assuming this is probably going to go across the bottom of the windshield. And I got my steel beams to go into the headlight brackets that I've got mounted. A couple of 1970s speakers here. I've got the rubber for the back of the vintage tail lights that are going like that. And I'm assuming these are the sockets that are going to go into the body to hold the bulb. So that's good. I have my tail light bracket with a light. I have an antenna. I guess this is the original dimmer switch. Ready to go. Speaker covers. I guess that goes there. I have 6 of these plugs, and they look like these are going to be the plugs for the bumpers. I'll have to check that out. And I have the strap for the hood. The leather strap is going to go across the center of the hood along with the hold down brackets. So, looking pretty good here with all the parts. I guess these are the speaker, something to do with the speaker. We have a horn button. But yeah, looking good here. So let's go ahead and go into the garage and see what we got here. But the other day off camera, I did the fenders, got the fenders mounted. Looking really good with proper gap on both sides. And I do have the front fenders mounted now on here, which was a real joy to do that with a little bit of the warping of the fiberglass. But got them in, got them set, proper fender gap. Have the fender brackets down to the frame here, which are these 2 studs right here to mount it. And got the grill on the front. I'll bring the camera on here in a minute. But looking really good. And also have the back bumpers mounted now, right here, along with the covers that go on that I got that were wrapped up. So I need to drill a couple ¼ 20 stainless steel carriage bolts in there, space them so they mount up a little bit nice and neat. And I'm ready to put the spare tire bracket on the back of the car. And this is going to be the spare tire bracket right here. So this is going to bolt right into the body, into the metal bracket that's in the frame. And then I need to drill 2 holes here for the bolts that are kind of come through, and then put the lug nuts on, and then the spare tire is going to mount to this. But that'll be the next project to do. Oh, and I do have the dashboard now. Check this out. Got to clean it up a bit, but hopefully the mice weren't chewing on it. But this looks like mahogany, and it's already drilled for the gauges. So I have the vintage white speedo to go in here, tachometer, probably water temp, oil pressure, fuel, and something else. And then this looks like the 70s radio hole, where you'd mount the radio control through the old square radios that had the knob on either side. I bet that's for the radio. And you have to drill 2 holes on either side. So yeah, we'll see if we could do a DIN radio in here with a touch display or something. Put some modern touches on this 1980s car. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think that'll clean up nice. But I think that's it for now. Let's go back and get the spare tire mounted. I'm going to do the lights next and see if we can get that part wrapped up. The tire is mounted, looking great. Wow. But I had to do a little bit of welding on there. I think I showed the mounting plate earlier. You see down in there I have the mounting plate and 2 3/8" bolts going through the body into the steel frame. And then I welded 2 1/2" bolts through the wheel, so the backs are welded so they're not spinning, and then put a 1/2" nut with lock washer to hold the tire in place, but it is solid on there. My next project today is to get the tail lights. These are reproduction tail lights, I guess, from the original Mercedes. And we're going to go on the fenders like so. That'll look pretty cool. But the challenge is there's no backing plate to go up inside here to hold the bulb in. So I'm going to have to make some metal framework to hold the socket, hold the bulb, and then just run the wires out. I'll have 2 wires, park light, brake light, and then since it's a fiberglass body, I need to run ground wires off of everything. But I'll get that going and finish it up today. Here's the license plate bracket that came in the parts pile, and looks like it mounts on these 2 holes right here and here, and supposed to go here on the left side or the right side, but I have to make sure I'm not hitting the tire. Still have the part of the license plate visible with the tire in the way. We'll get that done today. Next thing is, worked last night on the front of the car, looking pretty good. I put the sealed beam lights in. Just take off the ring, do that. I got a couple fog lights off of eBay for like 40 bucks, something like that. And those look good, and they mounted on that plate that came off of the frame. And I need to get the trumpet horns mounted. I just have them clamped in place right now. But get these so they're level, and there's a little mounting tab here that they say just put a pop rivet in, drill the crossbar, and mount that. So I'll straighten that up, level it. And then one 10/24 screw goes through, so I need to drill the body for the bolt and also the wire to go through. So it's nice this has power and ground. And I've got the turn signal lights, parking lights for the fenders, just sitting in place, kind of mocked up with some blue tape. And I need to whack a couple holes into the body for that, for 2 bolts, and then run the wires through, but there's no wires sticking through here, so I'm gonna have to open this up and see where the wires are at, or if I have to make the wires for it. And then likewise on the other side. But trying to get the odds and ends buttoned up. I do have the windscreen here to go in, and yeah, a couple mouse turds on it, all dirty, but I'll get that cleaned up. And it looks like these 2 studs mount into the frame right here into the body, so maybe I can get that on today. Dashboard is here, already covered that, but I need to make a notch for the steering column, so I need to cut into the wood over there and get that done. But let's see if I can get all this knocked out today. This is my piece of scrap metal here. I'm bending the bracket to mount the bulb up inside the light, and I've got it drilled, and a couple holes for some pop rivets. And I'll get this measured out final, cut it and bend it up, and hopefully it'll fit. So here's my bulb mount all made up, bent up. holes drilled. I just need to duplicate that again, but this will go like this behind the bezel. Bulb goes in the hole right in there, and then the lens goes on top. So the missing part has been fabricated. Brackets all done up, ready to put them onto the car. All right, so the rear tail lights are on, tires mounted, license plate, bumpers, looking really good. The front, I got the trumpets mounted yesterday, the trumpet horns, which are, I guess, pretty cool looking on both sides. Fog lights are on, and also the fender turn signals and parking lights all mounted and ready to go. So the next project is I have a gap underneath where the body's not quite meeting the frame. This is 5/8 of an inch. And I'm gonna weld up a piece of steel, slide back in there. And then I have 2 bolts that are gonna go down through here, a couple 1/4-20s carriage bolts that'll secure this part of the body down to the frame. Got some more progress. Got the windshield frame in. Again, my friend Jerry, neighbor, helped me place it in. But they have 2 1/4-20 nuts that go on the side of the frame. And then down here you have 5/16 inch stainless steel carriage bolts that go in. So it's looking really good. And then you place a gasket across the front, which I had. The challenge I'm having is I have a gap here between the body and this thick piece of chrome steel that goes down. So I don't want to tighten it too much, put too much stress on this fiberglass and result in it cracking the fiberglass or cracking the gel coat. So I think what I'm going to do is put it in my press. I have a press over there in the corner right there. If you don't have one of these and you do a lot of shop work, they come in really handy. It was a Harbor Freight special. Wasn't much money, a couple $100 I think it was, but I use that thing all the time for pressing in bearing races and so on. Also got the dashboard in, and that was a real biatch to do. I had to cut out part of the dashboard for the steering column to make clearance for the key switch and everything. And then I raised it up on this side so I clear the turn signal. But chopped a huge piece, and this is thick mahogany that they used back in the 70s. Again, it was in my parts pile, cleaned it up, got all the mouse turds off, all the dust and dirt, miller moth, spit, got it all cleaned up. And I had to do some trimming. The challenge is there was a gauge right here. So I lost it when I cut this piece out to make the clearance for the key switch so I could reach my hand in here and turn the switch. And again, I also moved this column about 2 inches further forward because the steering wheel was in my chest. I do have another spacer, a thinner spacer, that I could take it back another inch. I think I'm going to do that too. But I had this space over here in the corner, so I whacked a hole with a hole saw, 2-inch hole saw. This is what these gauges are. These are vintage gauges. Got them all cleaned up, and they're looking good. And I need to figure out the placement. I could switch these around real easy on what I want to do there. But just as a holding spot, I have the oil pressure right here. So I had this nice space ready to go. This is where the light switch is going to go for the headlights and parking lights. The challenge is that the switch is a lot thinner, the neck on the threads, and I can't find one that's a longer thread. So I'm going to have to take my router and eat away the back so this switch will fit down in there. I also have turn signal indicator lights coming, 3/8 inch LEDs that'll go left turn signal, right turn signal, and then the blue will be high beams. But and then I have the spot for the old-fashioned push radio that they had back in the 70s when this dash was made. It looks like I could find one on eBay. I need to figure out what I'm going to do there. If you have any suggestions, put it in the comments. If I should put a modern radio on there with Bluetooth or get a vintage one that fits in here, and then I'll drill 2 holes for the knobs. Leave it in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys think that are following the channel here. But anyway, looking good, a lot of progress. Got the LED light conversions all done and tested. But I'm going to pull this off, press it, and try to make up that 1/4 inch gap right in there. That press worked like a charm. Now my gap is no gap at all, nice and tight without putting stress on the fiberglass. Everything's tightened down and very solid. I did order a couple wind wing brackets. I built a couple Cobras in the past, and this is very similar, so I ordered the bracket kit, and I'll cut a piece of plexiglass that'll be like it's called a wind wing. It comes out about this far. And that'll take care of that. Next thing is I need to cut 2x4s, about 40 inches long, and I probably need to run them through the table saw to shave them down a bit, and that'll go across there. Then after that, I go to my fiberglass supply place, buy some fiberglass matte resin, and get the body fiberglass down to the floor pan. And then I need to make a plywood rear cover here for the rear seat and the back of the trunk. But yeah, pretty good progress. So I ripped a couple 2x4s down across the rocker panel and ripped it down to about 3 inches, 3.5 inches. And same thing on the driver's side, all the way up and down. And then the next step will be to fiberglass from the edge here onto the fiberglass onto the floor pan and overlap a couple inches, so this will be totally sealed in with fiberglass mat. Next up is the rear floor pan. I need to make that out of OSB. I just picked up a sheet at my local Home Depot, 7/16. But I need to make a pattern, and it's basically going to be from here to the back and cover all this, along with appropriate holes for the gas filler sensors, so you have access to that for maintenance. But so I'm going to get on that right now, and I'll bring you back in a bit. Check this out. I got the OSB floor all in place, and made some patterns, as you saw, cut it out, and made it in 2 halves. So it just drops in like so. So this is going to work out really nice. Got my breather hose from the fuel tank, run through a notch, and it comes up on the outside, and that's going to be good for a breather. Next thing is laying out the fiberglass. I need a fiberglass all the way around the edge, and I do have my fiberglass roll that I purchased. So this is the roll of fiberglass, 6 inches wide, ready to go. And I like using this stuff versus the braided stuff. It looks like cloth. This is a lot better. It's like oriented strands, and you just saturate it with resin. Probably in the next video I'll show you how to lay up fiberglass, which is really fun to do. You can make all kinds of stuff out of this. But got the resin hardener and the fiberglass ready to go. So I found these fiberglass panels in the parts pile. It's about the last of the pieces here, and it goes over on top of the OSB, goes up against the fiberglass body panel, and then I'll glass in with a 6-inch strip all the way around from the body down to it and then over the OSB. But I just trimmed up this one in a couple different spots, and let's see if it fits down in here. So that fits really nice in there, and then again I'm going to put a strip of the fiberglass mat and just fiberglass all this in, so it'll be one complete tub. I have the original Pinto gas filler, and I think I'm going to reuse this and then drill a hole through the side panel here, and then I have the cap for it. So I ordered a 2 1/4 inch filler hose, 90 degree. So I'm going to take this cap off. I'll come down on here with a couple hose clamps and whack off this back far enough, and then hose clamp it there, put it here, and then I'll have an outside filler. And again, I already have the vent. I have my access holes for the future if I ever need to get to the hoses, the fittings, or the gas level sensor. All right, so I picked up the front emblem, the Mercedes emblem, and this is a replacement for Mercedes. Got it on eBay, came from China, very well built, and it was about 20 bucks. But the next project, which is going to be really cool, is I need to punch a hole into the stainless steel radiator grill and drill a round hole, and then on the side of it there's these little wings that I'm going to have to notch like onto the side of the hole for this to go down, and then these are like spring loaded right here, and that'll snap right in there. So there's a rusty dimple right here that is the center, almost the center, and I'll remeasure everything. And then I have this heavy duty Lennox hole saw that I had in the drawer that cuts through steel. So I'll punch the hole, and that's about the diameter of the main hole. So I'm going to punch that down through there, all the way down through the fiberglass, if I'm going to hit that, and then I'll notch out the corner pieces. And this is going to look pretty cool right here. Haha, check this out. I got a Mercedes emblem on the front of this honkin' stainless steel grill. Done. Alright, I think that's enough for one video. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. It helps support the channel, helps the algorithm. Hit the like button. That also supports the algorithm on YouTube, so they can promote my videos even more. But let's go ahead and wrap it up, and thanks for watching.